It's Saturday morning and our local time is 5:35 a.m., which is the UK time. And today we are here to learn, develop some of the techniques of, IELTS exam. Hello, MD More Charlene, welcome. Oh, I wonder how could you come because you're not my subscriber. Possibly didn't update your mobile version. Okay, so once again, dear viewers, from this class or lesson, our primary is to develop our IELTS exam strategies and also different techniques how anyone can get better score. Okay, so I suggest that if you are interested to develop a score in writing, speaking, listening, as well as other 4 skills of exam, it's better to enroll or subscribe to my class. And what do you get in return? In return, generally, you get and all the techniques and strategies and different kinds of concepts how you can be a good scorer in the exam. Because most of the cases, candidates have the target to get the record score. It could be either immigration or it could be either for studies or maybe scholarship programs in the Western countries. Uh, so there is another common question that very often many learners ask that why do you need to sit for the IELTS exam? As I said, that's the answer, and how they can get the record score. You have to bear in mind that though it's an exam, but there is no pass or fail. It is just a scale that how an authority can assess the quality of English, your level of English. Okay, and for that we're going to listen to some of the please. Some of the techniques. Very often we share the BBC Learning English 6 minutes technique. So today we're going to listen to body language, which is very important, especially when we are having lesson.
English from bbclearningenglish.com. Hello, this is 6 Minute English from BBC Learning English. I'm Neil.
And I'm Sam. When Neil and I record 6 Minute English face-to-face in the BBC Learning English studio, which I'm happy to say we are doing right now, we look at each other as we speak. We smile and use hand gestures and facial expressions in a type of communication called body language.
But during the COVID pandemic, everyday meetings with work colleagues, teachers and friends, and 6 Minute English recordings all moved online.
Video meetings using software like Zoom and Skype became the normal way to communicate with family and friends. And whatever happens with COVID in the future, it seems they're here to stay.
In this program, we'll be asking, how has body language changed in the world of online video meetings?
We'll meet the person who wrote the rule book for clear communication in the digital age, Erica Darwin, author of a new book, Digital Body Language.
But before that, I have a question for you, Sam, and it's about Erica Darwin. She may be a communications expert now, but growing up in Pennsylvania, she was a shy and quiet schoolgirl. So how did Erica beat her shyness and become the confident communicator she is today? Did she A. attend public speaking classes, B. copy the body language of the cool kids at school, or C. raise her hand to answer the teacher's questions, even if she didn't know the answer?
I'll guess C. She raised her hand to answer the teacher's questions.
Okay, Sam, we'll reveal the correct answer later in the program.
In face-to-face meetings, we immediately see someone's reaction to what through eye contact, where two people look into each other's eyes as they talk.
Unfortunately, using a web camera to make eye contact is almost impossible in online meetings, and this often creates a kind of distancing effect.
Erica Darwin makes several suggestions to help with this. See if you can hear the final suggestion she makes to Michael Rosen as part of BBC Radio 4 Word of Mouth.
And last but not least, slow down. Remember when it was completely normal to have a 1-minute pause in a room with one another because we knew we were thinking and brainstorming. If we don't hear someone speak on video, we ask them if they're on mute. Practice what I call the 5-second rule. Wait 5 seconds before speaking to make sure individuals have time to process the ideas, especially if there may be technology or accessibility issues.
Did you hear Erica's last piece of advice, Neil?
Yes, she recommends slowing down, something we do naturally face-to-face when we're thinking or brainstorming, as discussing suggestions with a group of people to come up with new ideas or to solve problems.
Slowing down gives us time to process new information, to understand it by thinking carefully and reflecting on it.
Erica compares online body language to learning a new language. It takes practice, especially when it comes to smiling and laughing, something Michael Rosen finds hard to do in video meetings.
Listen to him discussing this problem with Erica Darwin, the BBC Radio 4's Word of Mouth.
Do you think it's killing off people laughing and smiling in the way we do when we're all together in the live situation?
I would say that it is much less likely that we laugh and smile on camera for a few reasons. Number one, laughing is often done in unison, where we can quickly pick up the energy of someone smiling or laughing and feed off of that and laugh ourselves. When it comes to screen delays, the fact that it's not natural to see our own camera and being distracted by that, we are much less likely to laugh and smile. One of the ways we can overcome this is by creating intentional moments in our meetings for the water cooler effect.
Erica points out that laughing often happens in unison, together and at the same time.
Yes, if someone starts laughing, it makes me laugh too.
She also thinks it's important to make time for employees to chat informally about things unrelated to work, their weekend plans or last night's TV show.
And she uses the expression, the water cooler effect, which comes from the United States, where office workers sometimes meet at the water fountain to chat.
So the water cooler effect refers to informal conversations that people have in their office or workplace, maybe in the lift, the office kitchen, or if there is one, by an actual water cooler.
Erica Darwin seems very comfortable communicating online, but she's had lots of time to practice since her school days.
Yes, Neil, in your quiz question, you asked how Erica conquered her shyness at school. I guessed that she raised her hand to answer the teacher's questions.
It was a good guess, Sam, but the correct answer is B. She copied the body language of her cool teenage classmates, so probably lots of rolled eyes and slouching.
Okay, let's recap the vocabulary from this program about online body language, non-verbal ways of communicating using the body.
Eye contact is when two people look at each other's eyes at the same time.
Brainstorming involves a group discussion to generate new ideas or solutions.
When we process information, we think about it carefully in order to understand it.
In unison means happening together and at the same time.
And finally, the water cooler effect is an American expression to describe informal conversations between people at work.
Neil is looking at his watch, which is body language that tells me our 6 minutes are up.
Goodbye for now.
Goodbye.
6 Minute English from bbclearningenglish.com.
Okay, there is. That's the one of the topics of 6 minutes BBC Learning English. We're going to start a lesson in a moment. Just give us a quick second. All right. So once again, we're going to discuss a grammar rule. If you remember, we started discussing present tense, present simple or indefinite, present perfect, present continuous, present perfect, and present perfect continuous. So today our target is to describe present perfect. Okay. I'll be back in 1 second, guys. Okay, I'm back, Darius. So, if you remember, we started discussion about tense, and our target is today present perfect tense. All right, let me share it. So, what do you understand by present perfect? So, yes. So, present perfect tense, the definition. So, the present perfect tense refers to an action state that occurred or started at an indefinite period of time in the past, but possibly has completed only recently. Very often, many of our learners are confused about this definition. So, basically, a state or an action that started in the past. Once again, remember that very often we get confused about the present perfect and present simple. So we got to be careful about defining these two tenses. So present perfect, once again, a state or an action started in the past or begun in the past and continued up to the present time, up to the one, and maybe finished in a certain point of present time. And which is why the word perfect is there. That means has completed. Okay, and this tense generally form like this: subject plus have has, or past participle form of the verb. So in order to understand past participle, we need to now go back a little bit further down. Which verbs have got the past participle? Dear viewers, remember that it is an important matter for us to learn verbs as well, because when we discuss about tense, few things are related with it. Number one is person, first person, second person, and third person. Number two, number, singular number and plural number. Number three, gender, male, female, and how it works. And also, it is related to the different types of verbs, like the present form of the verb, past form, and past participle. Okay, and also sometimes, very often, you can see that tense has the impact on narration as voice, active or passive voice, or direct or indirect speech. So let us briefly discuss gender, as you know, male, female. That's the basic concept. Then person, first person, I, we, second person, you, but always plural. Remember that. Regardless singular or plural concept, the verb must be plural. third person except first and second person. Everything in this world is third person. So any person's name, say Jim, Rahat, for example, or one, Krunal, then he, she, it, child, boy, girl, etc. These are third person singular. Plurals are like children, teachers, they, those, cities, etc. Okay, why we need to know person and how it is related to the tense? Because we have got a rule called subject verb agreement. Subject verb agreement. This is one of the important rules of English grammar to develop our conception of understanding. So if the subject is, so basically singular subject, before that we need to also go singular number. Okay, so what is number? As you can see, number is singular, plural. So singular is single. You can see from the definition, say I singular, all third person singular number, he, she, Jim, again Rahat, one, Krunal, right. Let me write it, etc. And plural is, I know it's more than one, like children, teachers, cities, etc. We, they, those, etc. Okay, subject verb agreement. Again, subject verb agreement. Singular subject, singular subject, singular verb. Plural subject, oops, plural verb. Okay, so that's very important for us to know subject verb agreement. So in the present perfect, the basic pattern was subject plus have, has, or the past participle form of the verb. And let's move on. So in the first person, second person have, we must use, let me copy this rule once again, otherwise it will be Control C. That's the basic pattern of present perfect tense. And we're going to have a test, guys, after that. So stay with us to participate. Okay. So I have, we have, you have, plurals. Remember, even plurals, we should use subject plurals, have. Oops, not here. You have like they have, children have, etc. And third person singular number has, she has, he has, it has. Okay, and there is a test, guys. That's cool. So we're going to take the test. So dear viewers, once again, who are listening to me silently, we're going to start a public live stream after finishing this subscriber lesson. So do not leave the live stream. When I finish, you can come back in 10 to 15 minutes time to participate the grammar test with us, with me. And also you need to find out some of the verbs from, verbs, especially regular and irregular verbs. So why these two verbs are important? Because these two verbs are important because of our understanding of tense. Excuse me. So basically regular verbs which do not change the basic part in past, present, past, and future. They do not change the basic form of the verbs. And irregular verbs, they do change, not regular, simply. So some of the examples of regular verbs. So how do you understand whether it's a regular verb or not? Dear viewers, remember that regular verbs always take ed at the end in past form and past participle. So most common regular verbs like ask, asked, oops, d, asked. Help, helped, helped. Then pick, picked, picked. Want, wanted, wanted. Then this word learn, it could be in two ways. It could be learned as well. Learned. Then similarly, dream, dreamed, or dreamed. Dreamed. So dear viewers, people who are watching from my Facebook Live as well as the YouTube channel, welcome. It's really my pleasure to some of the viewers at the moment. As you might be aware, this type of subscriber lessons are ongoing because I've got quite a few numbers of lessons at different times of the week, from Monday to Sunday, mornings and nights. So if you are interested, once again, to join my lessons, simply you have to go to the sign up button and click from there, and you have to pay the money from there. It's $10 for a whole month. In the whole month you'll get 8 1-hourly lessons, and through it you'll have the opportunity to develop your different parts of English language, mostly the 4 skills like listening, reading, writing, and speaking. And especially Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, Tuesday mornings lessons are Ielts exam, and Wednesday, Thursday is monthly English practice, and nights like Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday, as I said, mostly the other lessons like speaking, grammar, vocab, and phonetics. So very often people do, ask me, why do you need to learn phonetics, guys? Uh, Please remember that, it is an important for all of us to develop our pronunciation. And basically, pronunciation has the direct impact on your accent. Though accent is not important in any of the English language tests and many Western countries, but if you have a good pronunciation, which will create a very good image on your accent. And your pronunciation, your accent is your personality. Remember that when you speak about something, you need to be a natural speaker. You need to follow the connected speech rules and articulation, as well as the flow. Okay, so these are some of the techniques and tips, when you are learning English to develop yourself from your positions. So these are some of the regular verbs, guys. Now irregular verbs, common irregular verbs: go, went, gone, do, did, done, read, read, read. Though people say that read never changes in past tense and past participle, but as you can see, it is not pronounced the way it is written, which is why we pronounce read. Read, read, read. Okay, and also in the United Kingdom there is an university called University of Reading. We do not say reading. University of Reading, in the Reading city of the United Kingdom. Okay, so this is very important for us to know. So let's move on to our test. I'm going to give some explanation. Like Lindsay dash not been to France. Okay, another important matter very common mistakes we make, like be verb, be, been, been. So I've seen that in different days. Like, have you ever? This is very common question. Ever? Now the choices are been, gone, visited, visited, come. So if these choices are there, how you are going to choose the correct option? That is the challenging question. But all of this, if you think in broader aspect, all of these words are correct. So the best option in this case is, have you ever been to London, or gone to London, or visited London, or come to London? You see, in this case, the most appropriate choice is been. Have you ever been to London? Okay, so that is the most appropriate choice rather than gone, visited, and come. So the Lindsay has not been to France. Have you finished your homework? Lindsay is, remember, the third person singular number, and after that we must use has. So Lindsay has not been to France. That's the correct choice. Question number 6. Dash, you finished your homework. You is remember that second person. You could be singular, it could be plural, but we do not know. According to the grammar concept, you is always treated as plural. So have you finished your homework? That is the correct choice in this case. Then number 3, it is apostrophe comma. They, apostrophe comma, s, es, v, gone to a rock concert. So they've gone to rock concert. That is the correct answer. Number 4, same question. Dash, been to Japan is, have, has. So in this case, have you been to Japan is the correct answer. Number 5, we dash never eaten Mexican food. Okay, let me see. So we have never eaten Mexican food. Has Praja eaten like Vietnamese food? I haven't. Okay, now these are some of the assertive or general statement of the present perfect. So if you want to make a negative, we have to use simply after. So it should be subject plus have not or haven't. Or maybe has not. Hasn't. Past. participle form of the verb. So it's very easy, I haven't done the job. Now, if you want to make it a question or interrogative sentence, bring the verb at the beginning of the subject. So, haven't I done the job? Have you done the job? Has Nancy slept well? Has Kaiser finished his lunch? Kaiser hasn't finished his lunch, for example. Kaiser has finished his lunch. Now, if you want to make it a statement again from this question, take the punctuation mark, question mark. Remember that punctuation is very important when you are explaining both writing as well as speaking. But most of the times, many of our learners ask, hey, how do I know in speaking whether there's punctuation or not? It is the tone, which is why very often we use three types of tones in speaking. One is upper tone or rising tone, another is falling tone or down tone, another is flat tone. Okay. As a human, generally, we do not talk in the flat tone. It is the robotic or mechanical device that speaks in the flat tone, straight. Yeah. And for upper and rising, it could be a rising, upper rising to fall, falling down tone, or falling down to upper rising. So let me give you an example. What is upper rising to down tone? Like hello. Look, hello. It comes from upper to down. Similarly, hello. Look, it is doing down to upper tone. And British English, in British movies and British expressions, while having conversation, and most of the times our tone always goes as from rising to upper tone. But in many languages and many countries, it goes the other way around, from rising to falling tone. But remember that when you're using the appropriate punctuation marks like question mark or exclamation or full stop, we call full stop in British English or dot, and in American English it's called period. We need to be careful about using the tone correctly, because from your tone, your listeners or audience are able to understand what you're trying to say. Okay, let's move on to a few other things, like so haven't, hasn't. So bring the haven't, hasn't at the front part, and it becomes interrogative. And so have not is haven't, has not is hasn't, I have is ab, you have is yeb, they have is deb. Remember, this is very important for us to know the contraction. I have, you have, there is, they have. So similarly, I am, you are, they are. Okay, so these are some of the examples of these contraction, both negative and interrogative perfect tense. Okay, Andrea has her umbrella. Forget, forgetting, forgotten. Okay, the past participle form of forget is forgotten, and that is very much important to understand. Andrea has forgotten her umbrella. I'm going to highlight some of the words today in pronunciation, guys, because many a time our learners are confused how it should be pronounced. All right. Dash. Does the sun come up? Is it was, have, has the sun come up? As you know, it is a present perfect. The children dash the lost puppy. The children have find, is finding, have found. Children is always plural, remember? So the children have found their lost puppy. Remember, child is singular, children is plural, datum is singular, data is plural, medium is singular, media is plural, bacterium is singular, bacteria is plural, tooth is singular, but teeth is plural, foot is singular, feet is plural. So these are the common words that we should be careful when you're using as a singular plural. Okay, once again, child, children, datum, data, medium, media, bacterium, bacteria, tooth, teeth, foot, feet. Similarly, mouse, is it singular or plural, guys? Mouse, let me find that. Remember that it is singular. How we can remember? You know the mouse of the do you know the mouse of the laptop or desktop? Remember from this concept, mouse, one mouse, yeah, computer mouse, singular. This is the way you can remember mouse. So plural is mice. Similarly, louse, lice. Okay, and that is very common to find out these two different kinds of words. How it contrasts the singular and plural. So another one is fungus. Is it singular or plural, guys?
Fungus.
Fungus is always singular. Remember that, fungus. So what are the plurals? It could be fungi, sorry, fungi, or funguses. Either it could be possible.
Fungi.
Actually, it is fungi. You see, it's a very difficult word. Let me show you the IPA, how it works.
Fungi. Fungi.
Fungi. Fungi, not fungi. Let me show you guys how it is changed. Okay. Look at this. So from these phonemes or phonetic symbols, you can see it is fungi, plural. In the UK, but funguses in the US English. Okay, this is very important for us to know. So number 9, who's been a vegetarian since for 3 years. Is it vegetarian? Okay. I haven't worked since last December, and very often we get confused. Remember that we use since when the total duration of time, and we use for, I'm sorry, my apologies, since we use specific point of time, and we use for total duration of time. So specific point of time like childhood, 2017, Monday, Tuesday, since this morning. And for is total duration, like say for 3 years, 2 months, 2 hours, 30 years, 5 years, etc. Remember that is very confusing when we use these two words, since and for. Okay, dear viewers, that is very much important for us to find out Okay. So I was going to show you.
Eat.
All right. Very often we also use shorter and longer vowel. We have to be careful about these two vowel sounds. If you ever find in the phonemes these two words are there, we have to remember the first one, the shorter vowel, short vowel sound. Okay, this is long vowel sound, and the difference is, look, eight. So the first one is 8 short vowel and 8 similarly Bean. Mr. Bean. Mr. Bean is on holiday in New York. Or Bean, same spelling, guys. Okay. Then this one. Very often we're confused with these two words, bitch and beige. Remember that first one is shorter vowel, the second one is longer vowel.
Beach.
Okay.
Bitch. Bitch.
So let's do the first one.
Bitch.
The first one is bitch. Once again.
Bitch.
But the second one, bitch.
Beach.
Bitch. And S sound. So that is very important for all of us, dear viewers. So thank you very much for listening to me silently. My subscribers are on holiday, so they couldn't join, but as a part of teacher's duties, I have to just conduct the lesson. They can watch it later, the recorded. But thank you very much, guys. Remember to practice every day. Bye and take care.